Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hang out with these nerds.
Nate the Nerdarch.
Nerdarch is Ted.
And today we're going to do a character build for you. We're going to build Lightning Kitty.
Jump down to the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So today we're going to delve into Sword Coast Adventures Guide as well as Volo's Guide to Monster, and we are going to create a character that was affectionately nicknamed Lightning Kitty in Scott Garabay's GammaWorld game, where Mark was playing a radioactive catfolk character, and my character would call him Lightning Kitty.
Radioactive felinoid.
Yes, exactly.
Right, so, Tabaxi is found on page 115 of Volo's Guide. Storm Sorcerer can be found on
Page 137.
137 in Sword Coast. Good stuff here. Before we dive too far into it, Dave brought this concept forward, and as soon as he said Lightning Kitty, I'm like, all right, well that's got to be Storm Sorcerer Tabaxi, and he's like, well, we also want to look at Tempest Cleric because Tempest Cleric does lightning stuff too. So we dove into Player's Handbook, and while there's some cool stuff that's in there, including getting access to heavy armor and being able to do lightning damage as a reaction to anyone that hits you at first level, not certain it's going to, pair up nicely with the Sorcerer.
And some things really good about, a lot of classes are really good if you take it straight all the way through rather than multi-class.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is you end up with a lot of overlap in certain areas. So we decided, one or the other would be a good way to go. And since we want to use the Tabaxi really bad, we're better off going with the Sorcerer for that nice bump to Charisma and Dex. And by the way, the link to both of these books will be in the description below.
So, Tabaxi's not getting Wisdom. Cleric is not going to be their forte. You already have, the other stats of, Dex, Con, and of course Charisma. That's going to put Wisdom probably further down in your wish list.
So is Charisma their secondary stat for the Tabaxi?
Yes. They get Dex 2, Charisma 1.
All right, so we're going to want to put that 14 in Dex and that
15.
I mean the 14, the 14 in Dex and the 15 in Charisma.
Will give us 2 16s.
Give us 2 16s. We dump our 13 into Constitution or our 12, whichever sees fit, and we're at least getting 1 hit point per hit die.
I would actually say I would, for the dump stat, I almost want to go Wisdom.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
I mean, the old adage, curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah.
Wisdom seems to make sense, and then I would put the maybe the second least highest stat in Intelligence.
I'd put the 10 in Strength, and then do 12 and 13 in Con and Intelligence.
I would actually go higher Strength than Intelligence, just because I feel like this is a more physical character.
As a Sorcerer?
Yes, absolutely. As a Sorcerer,
you're going to be running around. You're going to be.
They don't do
jumping.
anything.
So
they just know magic.
Okay, so 10 in Constitution, 13 Strength, 12 Intelligence.
You don't want to be the cat person that.
No,
misses a
I'm
jump.
dumping the Intelligence too.
Yeah, so 8 Wisdom, 10 Intelligence, right?
8 Wisdom, 10 Intelligence.
12
Okay.
Strength.
12 Strength, 13 Con, 16 Dex. Yeah, I see this person as being really physical. Lightning Kitty was definitely physical.
All right.
I know, it hurts your min-maxing.
No, it doesn't. That's not how I saw it going.
So, and I also kind of had an idea for the background for this particular one.
All right, so we got race, we got class. What's the background?
Well, I would probably go with Sailor.
Mm-hmm. I can see the future sometimes. I just knew you were going to pick Sailor.
Well, when you start going, with, Storm and Water, Sailor fits.
Oh yeah, it does.
Now that being said, so you could there's a couple ways you could play this. One, you could play this as the Sailor that actually hates the water.
Yeah.
He likes being on the ship. He likes being in the rigging. Maybe, he's using a lot of his Storm Sorcerer powers to stay dry.
Invented the umbrella.
Well, he's a Storm Sorcerer. He can literally turn the rain off around him if he casts
there
a
you
first
go.
level spell.
That could be a purpose with, originally becoming a Storm Sorcerer.
But I'm also open to you guys, if you have ideas for backgrounds as well. I just envision. That's why I was thinking more physical, getting rid of the mentals, other than charisma, because he's a charisma caster, and he's probably likable. He tells stories, but you know what? His intelligence is average. His wisdom is below average. He might get those stories wrong. He might make them up and tell them different every time.
So the interesting thing, when you go with, sorcerer or cleric or paladin, they literally can come from anywhere because they're not trained in what they're doing. The power just kind of comes to them. So they have, in my opinion, more time for exploratory in the background. So I think you could go anywhere. I think Urchin could be kind of funny with this because you get the pet mouse. I think part of that would be funny. I would also look at folk hero. I think that that kind of fits with the origin story. Like, oh well, I did something cool once, and perhaps it awoke my powers or what have you.
What I would probably totally do with the mouse though. And then we'll get into it. You want Nate?
All right, yeah.
Mouse's name is Jerry?
No.
Okay.
He named it Snack. He always refers to it as a snack or something, and talks about something he's going to eat. When other people ask about the mouse, is that your pet mouse or blah, blah, blah. Oh no, I'm going to eat this later. He never does. It's always the same mouse. But
I call them iron rations. This is my just in case, So I was thinking folk hero. And I was thinking that there was a long time drought in an area, and this feline cat person actually was promoting the drought due to their hatred of rain and not wanting to be wet. And then they're accepting of their power, and they actually get basically...
They bring the rain.
Credited with bringing the rain, not necessarily having the drought. And they never tell anyone about it ever. And that's like a secret of theirs.
I almost feel like the town needed a folk hero to stop this folk hero.
Hey, in the end, they're well known for bringing the rain to the thirsty land.
Now,
so what? They made it thirsty in the first place.
Also, Performer would work really well. Like Charlatan would work really well. A lot of different ones work really well for this character build. The fun thing that you really get into is some of the Tabaxi abilities with the Storm Sorcerer abilities. Like right off the bat, Storm Sorcerer, you're getting a language. You get Primordial, which is an uncommon language. Every time you cast a first level spell, either before or after you cast it, you can fly 10 feet. As a Tabaxi, you can double that to 20 if you like. You just have to move 0-4 around before you get to do that again.
It's a weird mechanic, both with the Sorcerer and with the Tabaxi, and we kind of double checked and triple checked the wording, and you guys can determine what you think about it. But I think it measures up. I think it flies, literally.
20 feet.
Eventually you actually get a fly speed. So again, you could abuse that a little bit more. I believe at like 18th level, you actually can fly. So that is kind of cool. You just have to spend at least one round moving 0 before you can use that ability again. At 6th level, 14th level, the Storm Sorcerer gets to use his reaction to just do his level and damage to people and possibly push them back 20 feet. So this character build is going to be able to control the battlefield a lot. They're going to be able to move around a lot. They're going to get to use their actions a lot. It's going to be a fun build to play.
Yep, high level mobility and the ability to strike at the foes from a distance.
Yeah. Also, too, if you really want to be abusive, take the mobility feat.
Yes,
I think that's a must.
That would be a must. I think mobility and the Tabaxi, they go well together. It's kind of like chocolate and peanut butter. But I mean, also, like, you talked about this character being very physical. They're never without a weapon because they have their claws, so they can always attack, doing either bludgeoning or instead of bludgeoning, they can do the slashing with their claws.
That's true, but I feel like anytime you're a spellcaster and you have to resort to that, things have gone horribly wrong. In my opinion, the only area where that is kind of decent is attacks of opportunity. Someone runs by you, you can swipe at them, but for the most part, if you need to use those claws and you're a sorcerer, things have gone a little south. So what do you guys think? How would you build this character? Would you play him in your game? Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out the articles over at nerdarchy.com.
You can tweet at us at Nerdarchy.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.